We'll start in another exactly a minute's time. We're just giving a minute for all the attendees to join. And as I can see, there are more and more attendees joining every second. So we just give it another minute and then we'll get started. Okay, we'll get started now. And hopefully people will continue to join the webinar as it goes along. A very, very warm welcome to all the parents who have joined this webinar today being conducted by EuroKids on the importance of early school education and early childhood education. Along with me is my co-panelist, Dr. Anita Madan, who's the head of the curriculum team for the EuroKids chain of preschools. Richa, if you can just put up the presentation, please. So today, Dr. Anita and I are going to talk about the importance of early childhood education and why we believe all parents should get their children started in a preschool as early as possible, perhaps from the age of 2 years itself. Let's go to the next slide, please. We're coming to you from EuroKids. EuroKids is India's leading early childhood education experts. We've been running preschools for the last more than 21 plus years. We're spread across 3 countries, 1,200 plus preschools, 350 cities across India. And over the course of the last 21 years, we've touched the lives of more than 5 lakh children. Please go to the next slide. One of the questions that we keep getting asked very often is how important is early childhood education? I don't think everyone really understands how important early childhood education is and how strong a foundational block or how strong a foundation it forms for children as they start growing through the ages of 2 to 6. So I'll just share a video with you which encapsulates all our deeply held beliefs about the importance of early childhood education. And then we continue with the rest of the presentation.
What is it that will make some of these babies thrive while others won't? What will make some of these toddlers go on to college and pursue rewarding careers or fulfill their professional aspirations, while others might have to settle for a lot less? Is it a matter of fate, money, intelligence? Is it luck, hard work, genetics? Is it a question of education? What happens in the first few years of life before formal schooling begins helps to lay the foundation for future success. What children experience even before they learn how to talk increases their chances of reaching their full potential and might be the key to creating better societies for everyone. And the secret lies in the most unsuspected place, our young brain.
If you're seeing, if you're hearing, if you're feeling, if you're deciding, if you're thinking, if you're reading, etc. This is your brain in action.
During our early years, the brain is optimized for learning and is capable of extraordinary change. No wonder a baby brain can create more than 1 million new neural connections every single second. They say practice makes perfect, and that is exactly what the brain does. Every time we learn or experience something new, it detects a change, and that change forms connections, which help build the foundation of a powerful brain. The connections that are not used repeatedly are lost. During the early years, when the brain is at its most active, is when the roadmap of our lives is first designed. Although change is possible as children grow, science is proving that getting it right
Just go back, Richa.
years for intervention.
Learning machines. They are born ready to learn. They already have learned some things, even in utero.
The first 3 years of life, I think, are the magical years for intervention, because the changes that we facilitate then can last for the rest of the child's life and of the parent's life, and create a new way of relating.
A really good, solid early childhood education foundation are more likely to continue their education when they leave high school. They're more likely to go to college. They are 4 times more likely to graduate from college. They are more likely to get highly skilled jobs that pay more. They are actually healthier as adults.
Because none of us can remember our lives before we were 2 or 3 or 4, depending on when your first memory is, it's easy to think that there's nothing happening in there. The idea that we would think about learning as something that doesn't happen until you're 5 or 6 just doesn't make sense scientifically.
And so kindergarten prep begins in the crib, begins at birth, begins with the parents' knowledge of what their contribution is going to be to the baby's brain development. Because a brain has to be built. It comes ready to learn, but it's not built yet.
While some of these children may thrive and others might not, we now know that the experiences they are exposed to and the skills they acquire early on truly matter for the brain's development. The early years are an unrepeatable opportunity to improve their chances of happiness and success, and the best way to help them fulfill their dreams, whatever they may be.
So as this video very lucidly and very clearly points out, the importance of early childhood education cannot be overemphasized. Just go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So all the research here, there were a few experts from some of the top Ivy League universities talking about the importance of early childhood education. We have access to many research reports of research carried out over long periods of time and tracking children from the preschool all through their life to see the impact of early childhood education. And study after study proves that the investment that a parent makes in a high quality early childhood or a high quality preschool education program pays off in many, many ways. It leads to better language development. It leads to better social skills. It leads to fewer behavioral problems. They achieve more. They are more likely to graduate from college. And they also end up getting highly skilled jobs. Now, you might wonder, how is this possible just through preschool education? But it is, because that's when the brain is getting formed. And if we inculcate the right socio-emotional skills and the right cognitive skills in children at that age, it has a very long-lasting and beneficial impact on children, which is why we keep emphasizing the extreme importance of putting your child into a preschool at the earliest opportunity. Though I know I still hear parents say, oh, I'm sending my child to a preschool. The child goes and plays for 2 hours, right? What may appear as play is actually a very scientific program that the child is going through. The child learns how to interact with peers. The child learns independence. The child learns socio-emotional skills. And that is the bedrock of success for the child. Go to the next slide. Now, at this point in time, a lot of the parents are thinking about, should I put my child into a preschool? And there are two choices. You can put your child into a preschool, or you can put your child into the pre-primary section of a K-12 school or a mainstream school. And we have, in India, we have a large, many opportunities of putting our child into a K-12 school. And we also have an opportunity of putting your child into a EuroKids preschool. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about why a preschool like EuroKids is a better destination for your child between the ages of 2 to 6 than putting your child into a mainstream school. Go to the next slide. Yeah. So one of the things is that, we work in a very small teacher-child ratio, right? So in EuroKids, you'll see a teacher-child ratio of 1:10. Our classrooms do not contain more than 20 children at the maximum in the EuroKids preschool. So what does it result in? It results in a very nurturing environment. It results in a lot of one-on-one guided attention because the batch size is very small. It also leads to a lot of meaningful peer interaction, right? So it's not a large crowd of children. It's a small batch of children. And these children then get to know each other exceptionally well. They build strong bonds with the teacher. And they also get a lot of personalized attention from the teacher. A lot of the mainstream schools that we've seen have teacher-child ratio sometimes of 1:20, 1:30. And the classroom is much larger. The number of children is much larger. So children don't get the kind of very, very personalized, nurturing attention that you would get inside a EuroKids. So that's the first reason why we think that putting your child into a EuroKids is preferable over putting them in a main school. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. Our entire infrastructure, every element of the experience that the child has inside the preschool is completely tailored to the age group that we cater to, right? We are experts in preschooling. We are experts in early childhood education. A lot of times in playgroup and nursery, which is between the ages of 2 to 4, you will see schools making children sit on benches, right? But at that age, children are not yet fully physically developed to sit for long hours on benches, right? A more age-appropriate thing for them to do would be to sit on the floor. And if you can see the left-hand side picture, in EuroKids, children sit on the floor in a very safe and hygienic environment, makes them feel comfortable, makes them happy, makes them easy to move around and interact with other children and with the teacher, right? Every toy that we put into EuroKids has been specifically sourced to enable the learning experience for the child. And every piece of infrastructure has also been very mindfully designed to make sure that it contributes to the overall experience for the child. Whereas in a main school, the infrastructure and the toys and the curriculum may not necessarily be streamlined towards the preschool, right? Which basically means that, in a typical mainstream school, you may have 100 or 150 preschoolers, and you may have 1,000 plus children who are in the main school, that is from grade 1 onwards, right? Even from a safety and security perspective, we ideally we don't want the older children to interact with the younger children. We want the peer interaction to happen within children of a similar age group. And that's what happens inside a EuroKids preschool. Go to the next slide. Also, I said earlier in the previous slide that our infrastructure and our toys are completely designed, keeping in mind the age appropriateness and the relevance to a preschooler. Let's talk about curriculum, right? Our curriculum is also designed in a very, very thoughtful manner. It's designed specifically to enhance the learning experience of children between the ages of 2 to 6. It's not a very formal environment. It is a very fun learning environment in which the child learns very mindfully. And what we focus upon is the development path of the child. We don't focus only on academics like they do in main schools. Also, like a lot of main schools do, they still have a rote-based approach to learning, whereas we have a very holistic approach to learning. And again, our entire curriculum has been developed ground up with thousands and thousands of hours of research into making sure that it is exactly customized for the preschoolers. Let's go to the next slide. I spoke about holistic development. So in a EuroKids preschool, we do socio-emotional, life skills, mindful learning, beyond physical development and academics. And Dr. Anita will talk about the depth and breadth of our curriculum slightly later. Whereas we know that most main schools tend to focus only on academic development, right? But as parents, you're aware that children are growing physically, they are growing mentally, and they're growing cognitively, academically as well during this time. So it's extremely important that the program that is offered inside EuroKids, has to cater to all aspects of the child's development, which is what we do at EuroKids, may not necessarily happen inside a main school. Let's go to the next slide. So in conclusion, the EuroKids curriculum, our child-friendly ambience, and our personalized attention, help your child develop in all aspects and make the transition to the main school in grade 1 very, very smooth. The other big advantage is that if there's a EuroKids preschool in your neighborhood, you don't want at this young age to have your child do a long commute, spend an hour and a half. And if you're living in a big city, traffic tends to be terrible. It takes a lot of time to get from point A to point B. So it's always preferable to have your child within the neighborhood, close to home, and not have the child do a long commute, right? So the child-friendly ambience that we have created, the specialized preschool curriculum that we have created, our staff are qualified and intensively trained to handle preschoolers. We have comprehensive safety protocols. We have a very, very small teacher-to-child ratio. And the other big advantage that you get with EuroKids is, of course, that given the spread of EuroKids, if you're in a transferable job, you can go from one EuroKids to another EuroKids seamlessly. And these are all the reasons why we believe that EuroKids preschool is always a preferred destination compared to a main school. Let's go to the next slide. Safety has become one of the key aspects that we know that parents are always thinking about, especially post-pandemic. You're leaving your dear child ages 2 to 6 inside a preschool. You want to be sure that the environment is safe, that the preschool has thought through all the elements of safety and make sure that the child does not come to any harm. So is the school safe for your child? Yes, we have CCTV surveillance and constant monitoring. Do we follow any government guidelines? We follow all safety regulations. We make sure that our preschools are fully compliant with all local, state, as well as central safety regulations. We also ensure that all our preschools undergo 360-degree safety certifications, and we keep doing regular safety inspections at our centers to make sure that there are no non-compliances. And if there are non-compliances, then we give a very short period of time for our centers to become compliant. We also ensure that our staff are verified and trained, and we conduct rigorous background checks on all the staff who work inside our preschools. We also do regular drills for emergency preparedness and crisis management. Nowadays, with climate change, suddenly we see, a lot of metro cities are suddenly inundated during the rainy season, right? Or you could have sudden drop in visibility or a sudden drop in air quality, right? Or there could be a fire in the vicinity of the preschool. So for all of this, we train our preschool staff on emergency preparedness and crisis management. Of course, from the infrastructure perspective, we ensure regular sterilization of everything that the child and the staff use inside the preschool. So we are India's first safe school network. Let's go to the next slide. Now I'll invite Dr. Anita to come and take us through our curriculum, which is Eunoia.
Good evening, dear parents. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. So Sai spoke about how important curriculum is for early childhood education and how important it is to give them the right kind of exposure at the right time. So while the brain is developing the most in the younger age, when they are really from 0 to 6 years, the right exposure, the right activities are very, very important. And that's where Eunoia, the mindful curriculum that we have developed, plays a major role. So the EuroKids follows a mindful curriculum, which is kind of focusing on the holistic development, which is the mind, body, and soul. The next slide, Rita. So we have done is we've taken the three main important aspects, that is the IQ, EQ, and CQ. So most of the mainstream schools, like he mentioned, focuses only on the IQ aspect of the child. When I say IQ, it's the cognitive domain. Under the cognitive domain, we do language, that is the euphonics, the math, and the scientific spark. Now, when I say euphonics, is children learn best when they are doing learning through sounding of the letters. So, they don't have to actually rote learn or memorize or, remember the exact word, but they can break down the words and the letters and start reading faster than the other children. When I say math lab, it is more like a hands-on experience for them. It's more like a playway method where they are playing with these concrete things and understanding the abstract numbers. So the minute I say 11, it's a very difficult thing for a child to understand the value of 11. But when I give them the rods and the cubes and I say, okay, now make 11 and show me what is the value of 11, that is the time they understand that these abstract numbers have a lot of concrete value, and then learning becomes better because this is the foundation years for them. In scientific spark, we do thinking, we do prediction, we do estimation. We want the children to start thinking like a scientist. We do not tell them anything which is rote. We do not provide them the information, but we provide them with methods of finding out the information for themselves. So there is nothing like we provide them a book and they are studying. No, we are making them find out answers for themselves. We teach them that there is no one right answer for any question. How do we think beyond? So that's why we call it scientific thinking. So that takes care of the cognitive domain of the child. Then we come to the psychomotor domain, which is the physical development. the brain is active only when the body is active. So it is very important for us to do a lot of physical activities with the child. Now, we will not be doing physical activities just by letting them play outside on the outdoor area, but we have a specially designed curriculum, that's EuroFit, which is designed by trainers in Germany. We have a tie-up with Priya Prakash, who's the founder of Health Set Go. And these activities are designed to have a mind to muscle connection with the child, so that the muscle and the mind work together. Then we have EuroKids. EuroKids, as the name says, it's yoga for the kids and not for the adults. So it is done in a very playful manner, with stories, with rhymes, with action. We talk about a cat story and then we suddenly take them to a cat pose. So the children can relate to everything that the child is doing along with the story. Then the most important domain of the child is the affective domain. During the pandemic, we heard a lot about the socio-emotional development. We heard that the children are depressed. We heard that the children are not talking. Their communication skills have been lost. All this is taken care from the affective domain, that is the socio-emotional learning. We focus a lot on developing children socially. So we have a session on Mindful Plus, where the children are taught to be aware of themselves. It's so important to know yourself, your feelings, your breath, awareness of things around you. If you don't know yourself, how would you know others? So we are teaching them to be aware of their own breath. Then we talk about music, Euro music, which is again a tie-up done with a PhD in music, Anne Meeker. She is the founder of Sing Play Love, which is an award-winning program in the US. So children are taught not only values, but language, literacy skills, executive function skills, and rhythm and rhyme. So what we know children learn much better with rhyme, with rhythm, singing lyrics out. This is how we've kind of put into our curriculum here, where we are developing executive function skills, which are the most important skills in the child's life, through music. So that's the holistic development of the curriculum. So it's not about teaching them only ABC. It's not about rote learning. It's not about writing. It's about holistic development. Very well planned, very well researched. We are members of the NACI, that's the National Association for Educating Young Children in the US, where all the researches that we do are, what they do are implemented in our curriculum. Richa, the next slide. Okay, so these are the slides that I just spoke about on the euphonic program. The next would be the math lab. Then the scientific spark, where I said we are working on discovering truths. We are finding out more answers. Then the EuroFit, which we have a tie-up with Health Set Go, the largest IOSA certified company. Then EuroKids, which is specially designed curriculum for children. Then Euro Music, a tie-up with Sing Play Love. Mindful Plus. This is something which is, preparing them for the future, preparing them to manage emotions. We are building in the foundation years right from the beginning, It's so important for the child to be so happy and manage his emotions. So that's Mindful Plus for us. So how does the day at EuroKids look? There are so many things that we do. I sometimes have parents asking me that it is just play for them. They're just coming there to play. But if you see the next slide, we will see that it's not just play. It's the multiple things that we do. Richa, the next slide. Yeah. So we do the Euro music, we do the math, we do the language, we do fit. So we have a whole day which is divided into the active and passive sessions. We know that the brain is active for 20 minutes and then it goes into the passive mode. So with research and with more brain development, we have worked on, a program which is more effective to the children. The next slide. That's the breakup of the timetable that we just showed it to you. That how does the 3 hours of the playgroup nursery, and the next slide is the 4 hours of junior senior done. There are a lot of small group sessions, large group sessions, passive sessions, active sessions. It may just look that the child comes to play, but actually there's a lot of research behind. Why should a math be before a mindful session? Why should there be snack in between the 2 active sessions? So there's a lot of thinking gone, in why we are doing a particular thing and at what time. The next slide. The most interesting part of the curriculum is we have time for reading. So we follow the Maria Montessori method and the reading cards, where we teach the children to read on their own. So while we do the euphonic method and we teach them the sounds, we also teach them to read on their own. So we have these cards with the children use, play, match, and they read at their own pace. So some children may be at level 1 and some may be at level 2, depending on the pace and the exposure the child has. We all learn with our peers, we all learn with our friends, we learn a lot of things while we are talking to our friends. Same goes with children, where we learn through peer interaction. We learn a lot when we interact with our children, talk to them on one-on-one level. I'm very proud about our association with UN. We are doing the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030, and we are the only preschools that are following and are working towards the developmental goals of the nation. So something that the nation, the whole world wants to achieve at 2030, we are teaching our little ones to be part of that. So we are bringing in a lot of awareness of the environment. We are bringing in a lot of awareness of how we can be a contributor to the environment. And the most important program of our curriculum is being safe. We are teaching the children to be safe. We are teaching the children to take care of themselves. As parents, as teachers, we cannot be with them all the time. So we are making them aware of what is the right touch, what is appropriate for them, what is not appropriate for them. How do you keep yourself safe while you are at home alone? How do you keep yourself safe while you're on the road? How do you keep safe with strangers? So we're doing sessions with them where we talk about keeping them safe all the time and in all places. The next slide. Now, children love receiving goodies. I'm sure parents, you too love receiving goodies. So the admission procedure starts with receiving a happiness box. My happiness box, I have kind of named it happiness box because I've seen children very happy when they receive it. The very first box inside the happiness box is the welcome kit. The welcome kit contains equipments that are to be done in a day-to-day classroom. So like a worksheet, a workbook, a t-shirt or a uniform that they need to wear to school, all those things that they need in the classroom and to conduct the curriculum. Then we have the readiness kit, which is given to the parents while the time of admission. This is primarily used to get their finer motor skills ready. So there are a lot of things in that where the child can develop their pincer grip, cutting, coloring. All these things are required for the child to be ready when they come to school. A takeaway at school and takeaway at home are two important things where we get the children to make things and use them at home. So, when we're doing few things, we're making some activity in the school, there are materials for that. When they're doing it at home, it is more like a parent and child bonding. Parents want to do some activities with the child, but are really not sure what is right and age appropriate. So we provide them with instruction card, we provide them with the write-up, They just have to read that and do it along with their child. This also helps in constructive engagement with the child and improving the bonding with the child. Takeaway at school is done more for the reinforcement of the topic. Theme kit is related to the themes that are done in the classroom, and the children, enjoy doing it. So if there is an animal thing, they're making something for the animal. So they also feel that there is reinforcement to the topic happening. They also feel connected to the topic. And yes, of course, the Euro Music kit, which has books with read along books for the parent and the child to read along. The next slide. These are details of the welcome kit that I spoke about. In the welcome kit, we have the books, the bag, the t-shirt, the portfolio. I love the portfolio because it allows the children to express themselves. So it's not like a worksheet where there is one correct answer. This is more like an expression. So we let the child express what he wants. So there is no correct answer or wrong answer here. It's more on how his mood is and how he wants to express. Then we have the medals and certificates. We have the honor badges. Now, I believe a lot in conscious disciplining the children. See, there is something like you want to discipline the child, but don't tell them that you're disciplining the child, but consciously do that. So we give them these honor badges, which says, I am content, I am focused, I am patient, I am helpful, I am positive. Now, what happens is when we do all these things, the child actually starts demonstrating that traits. And if these traits are learned early in the years, they are definitely going to be an happy and successful human being. So you understand when I say we develop the CQ and the EQ, it's very important for the emotional quotient of the child to be a good and happy human being. So we are consciously putting in effort to make the child aware of these traits and practice them in their day-to-day lives. And vocabulary words, we have a new word that we introduce every week, which the child learns, and then he is expected to say it in his sentences. And for the reinforcement, we have a lot of goodies. We have a calendar, we have a pencil, we have a card, which they can play with, which they can use, and they can remember. So a lot of reinforcement. Children need a lot of repetition. So all these activities help a lot of repetition for the children. The next slide. Now we have kind of started offering multiple shifts. Sai, you want to take this up?
Yes. So, we've been now in the preschool industry for 20 plus years. And we always like to make sure that we are listening to our parents and trying to solve the problems that parents face, right? Traditionally, preschools have always had one batch timing. What we realized is that, naturally we know that some people are early risers and some people are late risers. We call them the early risers and the night owls, correct? Even as adults, some people can easily stay awake till 2 o'clock in the morning and, they struggle to get up in the morning. And some people will be up at the crack of dawn without any effort at all. That's just a natural rhythm that the body has. And the same thing happens with children as well, right? However, if we give only a single batch timing to children, then a child who is not comfortable getting up in the morning is forced to get up in the morning, is not happy, is crabby, is, unhappy about being forced to get up early and, put on the uniform and go to the preschool, and is not necessarily in a great state of mind to enhance their learning and their development, right? So we've been thinking about how do you accommodate children who are not necessarily early risers. So that's the reason why we now offer the convenience of multiple batches in the morning, right? Similarly, as the Indian services sector has developed, as more and more people are working in software industries and other industries which have global footprints or are working for American, UK, European companies, they tend to work on what we call the US or the Europe shift. So they're very, very busy late at night, which is morning in the US, or afternoon or evening in the UK. And hence, their work timings are not very convenient to send the child to a preschool early in the morning, right? Which means that if given a choice and if they wanted to take a late morning shift, it would be more convenient for the mother to spend time with the child. So that's another great reason to be offering multiple shifts. I've also come across many parents who own and run their own businesses. By the time they come back from their business for the day, it's pretty late at night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. They like to spend time with their child. Children also are used to staying up late because their parents come home late. And then both parents and the children struggle to get up in the morning, right? But they are forced to get up because the preschools typically offer only one batch, right? Now, to solve these kind of problems, from this year onwards, we will be offering multiple shifts in the morning across a majority of our preschools across the country. Richard, just go to the next slide. Yeah. So, for instance, you will need to walk across to the nearest EuroKids and check specific batch timings. These are only suggested batch timings. In some places, the first batch could be started earlier. It could start as early as 7:30 or it could start as early as 8. But typically, now most of our centers will be offering at least 2 batches, which is shift 1 between 8:30 to 11:30 and shift 2 between 12 to 3 p.m. Right? That is for the nursery and playgroup divisions. And for Euro Junior and Euro Senior, because it's a 4-hour batch, we will be running 2 batches between 8 to 12 and 12:30 to 4:30. Right? Now, parents see this as a convenience offering. Right? We are not forcing you to take any shift. We think that we offer you the convenience of 2 shifts. If you want to take the first shift, feel free to take the first shift. If you feel the second shift is more convenient for you, given your work schedule or your business schedule, or the fact that your child may not be comfortable getting up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning to attend school, then you can take the second shift. But this is a pure convenience offering that we have created at EuroKids for all the parents who, may not necessarily be able to accommodate themselves into the first shift in the morning. So shift 1 is the early morning shift. Shift 2 is the late morning shift. And in some centers, we have also started now offering what is called the third shift, which is between 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. Yeah. But most of our centers for sure will offer shift 1 and shift 2 across nursery, playgroup, Euro Junior and Euro Senior. Let's go to the next slide, Richa. Okay. While Dr. Anita was talking about the curriculum, I've been reading some of the questions which are popping up on the screen, and some of the questions relate to how do I know what my child is doing inside the preschool, right? Anita also spoke about how we've created elements inside our welcome kit, which enable the parent and the child to constructively spend time together at home, right? So one of the other things which now comes as part of the EuroKids curriculum is, if you go to the next slide, is our Home Buddy learning app, right? We all know that the child spends only 20% of their time in the preschool and 80% of the time is spent at home, right? So I think there is a very clear need for constructive engagement between the parent and the child. The children are too small. If they come home, they're too young. If the child comes home and the parent will ask, what did you do in school today? A lot of the children will say, we had fun, or we played, or something very monosyllabic or non-descriptive, right? Because they haven't yet learned to articulate what has happened to them, what is the experience that they've been through, right? Through Home Buddy, we give you a clear picture of what has been taught and what is the experience that the child has gone through in the school that day. It's called My Day at EuroKids. We also give a short daily schedule, which we expect the parent and the child to sit together and go through. It could consist of some videos, it could consist of some activities, it could consist of some read along stories that the parent and the child will experience together. And there is a scientific basis to this. Soviet psychologist Lev Vygotsky talks about the fact that the development of the child depends on how much communication is happening between the parent and the child at home. Apart from the scientific preschool education that is happening for 2 to 3 hours, what is the richness of the communication that is happening between the parent and the child? Now, HomeBuddy has been designed such that when the child comes home and when the parent is back from office, they can sit together, they can look at the day's schedule, and they can spend some high quality, constructive time engaging and talking about the experience of the child during the school, during the day at the preschool, right? So HomeBuddy will play a very, very key role in constructive engagement beyond the classroom. Go to the next slide. Just play the video. So that's a short video on the HomeBuddy app. We do believe that the digital app will play increasingly as time goes by. Digital apps will become a very key components of the child learning experience and of the parents' mechanism of interacting with the school, with the teacher, and of getting a lot of data and analytics about their child's development. So if you look at the HomeBuddy app, all the content that is taught inside the class is also available on the app. Yeah. So you have audio visuals, you have interactive games, you have fun zones, worksheets, there is a parent corner, there will be interactive picture talks, read along stories, there will be physical development through EuroFit and EuroKids. So you'll see videos of fitness and yoga. There'll be real-time progress tracking, holistic learning through EuroMusic and Mindful Plus, analytics. So a plethora of content and analytics will make it easier for the parent to be a partner in the child's development during these very, very crucial years of the child's life. Let's go to the next slide. Just go back one slide, Richa. Yeah. So another reason why HomeBuddy is now an integral part of the EuroKids curriculum is that the national curriculum framework, which was recently released by the government, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, who's the Minister for Education, released the national curriculum framework for the foundational block. And even in the NCF, it is very clearly mentioned that digital learning is going to be a key component of the learning journey for children between the ages of 3 to 8, as far as the government is concerned. For us, between the ages of 2 to 6, we don't expect the app to become like a a nanny or a toy for the child to play with. We see it as age appropriate content, something that the parent and the child can engage on together, and also a great tool for the parent to communicate with the school and to also have a very clear insight on the development of the child as they go through the learning journey. Let's go to the next slide. Again, common question that we get asked very often. What are the programs that we offer right now? We have 4 programs in EuroKids. We have the playgroup program starting from 1.8 years and going up to 3 years. And in playgroup, this is where a lot of parents say, my child has gone to play for 2 hours, but it is not only play. It is discovery and exploration, language development, new age skills, and shaping scientific mindset. Similarly, nursery is the next grade, which spans age group of 2.5 to 4 years, where we are focusing on enhancing interaction, cultivating creativity, and improving the imagination of the child through art and music. We go on to the kindergarten grades, which is first Euro Junior, or in common parlance, it's called Junior KG, which is for the age group of 3.5 to 5 years, where the emphasis on cognitive skills improves. There's a lot more emphasis on cognitive skills, where we're talking about age-appropriate learning and educational tools suited for individual pace. And finally, we have Senior KG or Euro Senior, which is 4.5 to 6 years, where we focused a lot on developing vocabulary, attention span, reading and writing skills, with very, very age-appropriate and innovative methods, and preparing them for grade 1. We've also launched this year, if you go to the next slide, our 15-month integrated program. Right now in January, you may feel like your child is ready to go to a preschool, ready for social interactions. Your child might already be going out in the evenings and playing with kids of his or her age. And you're saying, why do you have to wait till April? Why can't I put my child into a preschool right now? So for those parents, we've launched the 15-month integrated program. You could put your child into a preschool right away. We will take them through a 3-month program up to March, which will include 2 weeks of settling and a 12 weeks of special curriculum for the current academic year. And what that does is helps your child settle down completely, get out of any stranger anxiety, get out of any settling issues, start to become more independent, start to interact with teachers, start to interact with peers. And in case your child has missed preschooling in the early part of this academic year, then the 15-month integrated program is a great way to get your child started immediately. So you put your child into a preschool, they do 3 months of preschooling. And then when the next session starts in April or June, depending on which part of the country you're in, your child automatically carries forward into the next grade and gets started. So we think this is a great program to get your child started immediately. Go to the next slide. Yeah. So if you're keen on getting started, the starting point is that you can go to, and I've also seen a lot of questions about, do you have a EuroKids in this part of this city or this state? All you need to do is go to www.eurokidsindia.com and fill up an inquiry form over there. You can put in your PIN code over there. Someone will reach out and guide you through the process of arranging a visit to the nearest EuroKids center. And from there, all you need to do is go visit the center, see for yourself, experience the EuroKids preschool, fill up the admission form, submit your documents, and our batches start in Jan, April, and June. Go to the next slide. Richa, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. We are also across our EuroKids preschools conducting open house on Saturdays. Yeah. And the idea of the open house session is for parents to walk in along with their children. Please do get your children along, because it's important for children also to get excited about the whole preschool experience. And in our experience, when children join preschools and after the settling period, they really love coming to preschool on a daily basis. They love seeing the buddy character at EuroKids. And it becomes a very, very joyful experience for them. To get them excited about the EuroKids experience, on a Saturday, visit your nearest EuroKids, and they could be conducting an open house session in which the center will take you through how we teach, how our teaching methodologies are highly differentiated. How do we teach mindfulness? How do we teach yoga? How do we teach language? How do we teach science? How do we teach maths? Because the way EuroKids teaches all of this is very, very different from what a regular preschool does. It's very scientific, very well thought through. And only by visiting and experiencing for yourself will you really come to appreciate the power of the EuroKids experience. Go to the next slide. Yeah. That's all, parents, from us. We will now move to the question and answer session. So as I'm reading through the questions, Anita, there are some questions around, is there any mechanism so that parents can also see what our kids are doing? Can we do live monitoring of our kids online? So while all our centers do have CCTV, we do not provide live feed to our parents due to privacy reasons. But maybe Anita can talk a little bit about what are the facilities that we provide through HomeBuddy, which on a daily basis will give you a very good idea of what your child is experiencing at the preschool.
So what we have in the HomeBuddy is a classroom news feed. So whatever happens on the classroom during, if the children are doing some activity, the teacher clicks pictures or videos and she posts them on the HomeBuddy app. So that's where you get a feel of which activity is going on, what your child is enjoying, what he is doing. Also with the My Day at EuroKids, you will get an information of what all your child has done in the classroom. Apart from that, the the real-time progress that we provide also informs you on what your child is doing on the app and in the classroom and how he is faring in that. So where you can very closely monitor, see, and understand on the app what is happening in the classroom with the news feed, with the classroom memories, with the photographs, with the activities and all those things.
Sukumar Ghosh has a question saying, are the grading systems same like regular schools, i.e. nursery, KG1 and KG2? So Sukumar, I think we showed a slide where we talked about the 4 programs and the integrated program. So the 4 programs are playgroup, which starts from 1.8 to 2 years and carries on till 3 years. And then after that, we have nursery, junior KG and senior KG. In the case of EuroKids, junior KG is called Euro Junior and senior KG is called Euro Senior. I'm also seeing questions around, do you have a school near Vishrantwadi? Do you have a school in NCR? The simple way to answer these questions is, please go to www.eurokidsindia.com and there you will find a center locator. You can go there, you can punch in your PIN code and you will immediately come to know whether there is a EuroKids preschool in the vicinity of your PIN code. But if you're from Pune, we have, I think, more than 50 plus preschools in Pune. So there is a very high chance that you will be very close to a EuroKids preschool. Question, do EuroKids collect funds for extracurricular activities like annual day and graduation day? Yes, but I think the funds will be only for, if there are some special costumes which are being designed, that's not part of the curriculum or not part of the fees. So that typically the center will reach out to the parents and they will agree on the costumes and they'll agree on a price for the costumes. Sometimes also annual days and graduation days are conducted inside, let's say, a large, say a function hall or an auditorium close by. And the hiring of these halls and auditoriums is quite expensive. So in that case, a small extra fees might be charged by the centers for the annual day and graduation day. But typically, these are also communicated to you at the time of admission. Niyati Thigale is saying, when admission process will start for nursery section? Niyati, the admission process has already started. If you're seeking admission, please find out your nearest EuroKids preschool, walk across, go through the open house. If you are unable to visit on a Saturday, you can sit with the counselor, you can meet with the center head and understand everything that we've spoken about today and take your decision on admissions. Madhu is asking, do you teach through Montessori methods?
So Montessori is just one philosophy of the many that we use. So our school is not completely a Montessori school. We have picked up and chosen things which are very, very relevant to the children. So like I spoke about the reading cards, they follow the Maria Montessori method where the children are reading on their own pace. We have a few equipments which are based on Montessori, but we do not follow only Montessori. We do inquiry based, we do executive function, we do mindful. So we do a lot of things along with Montessori.
Okay. Then I'm sure we'll see some of these questions, Anita. Sauda Ministry Shastri is asking, my daughter is 2 years, 4 months. Should I join her for playgroup or nursery for the 2023 academic season?
So I would suggest that you join her in the integrated program right now so that she gets a catch up of the 3 months in the play group, and then she takes the nursery in the June session or the April session, whichever city you are in. So currently, let her get into the play group integrated program. So that would be really good for her. She will also get an exposure to school. Her settling time to nursery would reduce.
Now, there's also another mother, Kajal Patel. Similar question. My baby is 2 years, 3 months age. What is the exact age for playgroup?
The exact age for playgroup is 18 months. Since your child has crossed that and not there in the nursery age right now, so I would suggest the same thing for you, ma'am. Join into the integrated program where the child has settling time, where the child gets a feel of what the school is, and also is equipped to move on to the nursery when the session starts.
Manir Pradhanang is saying, I don't think this multiple batch timing option is available in all the branches. We are now asking all our branches to start multiple batch timings. So please do check with your nearest center. Yes, it is possible that some centers are yet to start multiple batches, but we are now asking all of them to start at least 2 batches. Question, and I think there will be a few of these. Do you focus on regional languages? Will there be difficulty in the learning of language for toddlers who are familiar with mother tongue?
Familiarity with regional language is something which we do when the child comes into the school, because the teacher starts and weans from the regional language to the English language. But also with NEP coming in, where the focus has been a lot on the regional languages, we would very soon start offering some kind of regional languages, because that from 2025, that is something where the government is suggesting us to do. But currently we do have, we do encourage teachers to speak in the language the child is most comfortable in and slowly wean them to English.
Some comments saying sometimes HomeBuddy not working. I am unable to use HomeBuddy. So the thing to do is please reach out to your center. What we did recently was that we launched a completely newly redesigned HomeBuddy app, which is still in the early stages of deployment. So there will be some errors and some bugs, which once you let us know what the issue is, we will for sure sort out all of these issues.
So there's a question from Pavan Kumar that he and his wife are just 12th pass, and how would the child read? So I would say that you could learn along with your child, because the Home Buddy app has a lot of videos. It has a lot of the audio visual aids. It has our phonic sound videos. So while we are teaching the child to learn the sound of the letter, you could also learn along with the child and help him, and your child will start reading, because there's lots happening in the school, and to your advantage, all that is available on the app, which even you could along with your child listen to and learn from there.
Then do all teachers talk English inside the school? It's a very interesting question.
Yes, we do encourage and make sure that the teachers speak in English, because that's the language that the school functions in. But yes, when the children just join in, they are a little uncomfortable with English. So we urge the teachers to make the child comfortable with the regional language and then slowly wean them off. So first month or maybe 4 to 6 weeks, the children are settling. So the teachers are helping them to settle with the regional language. But yes, the focus is to speak in English.
Okay. Fee structure and age group. Please reach out to your nearest EuroKids, and age group we've already spoken about. Can parents track their child when she is in EuroKids, like live stream tracking? I've answered this question already. For privacy reasons, we cannot give live stream, but we do have CCTV for security and safety reasons. Fee structure for playgroup, please visit your nearest EuroKids. Madhu is asking, in our state, the entry age is 3 for nursery, but for Euroschool, it is 2.5. This won't affect when the child goes for first standard. So Madhu, this age range that we have given, which is say 2.5 to 4 years for nursery, right, is just a suggested age range. Eventually, we will align with state regulations. So in your state, nursery for EuroKids will start at 3, right? So if your child is 2.5, you will have to put your child into playgroup. Yeah, you could, for instance, take up the integrated program, which means that by the time June comes around, your child can automatically move into nursery and start with the integrated program. Open house is for all or only who take admission? Open house is for everyone. So the concept of an open house is that check with your nearest EuroKids if they're conducting an open house. You can just walk in and be a part of the open house. Saturday sessions happen every Saturday. Yes, they should happen every Saturday. But again, please check with your nearest EuroKids center whether they're doing the Saturday session or not. We will be conducting these webinars every Saturday from now all the way till June, because I know parents have lots of questions and queries and concerns about their preschoolers' education. Neha Jain is asking, my son is 18 months old. What is the right time to join him in EuroKids?
We start a playgroup program from 18 months. So he's already ready for a playgroup session. So you can enroll him in playgroup.
So she can actually put him in the integrated program, and he will start with the PG program in April or June, depending on which city that she belongs to. Jagdish Shri asks, is EuroKids registered with the government? So all our preschools are compliant with all state regulations. So whatever are the state regulations, our preschools will be registered if the state requires a registration, and will also be compliant with any regulations that the local state will require the preschools to follow. Deepak Namdev, we need activity picks like outings and coming sports day. So Deepak, for sure, in the Home Buddy app, we have something called Class Memories. And that is the place where all the activity picks and sports day, annual day, graduation day, all of those picks will be posted there. Is there any sibling discount? My elder son is already a EuroKids student. Yes, there is a sibling discount. Please check with your EuroKids center and they will tell you what the sibling discount is. Website, once again, please, for admission, www.eurokidsindia.com. Yeah, I'll repeat again, www.eurokidsindia.com. Anurag Maurya is saying HomeBuddy is not having any photographs and all from the school. So Anurag, HomeBuddy will be fully functional from the next academic year, which is starting from April. Currently, we are also in the process of training our center heads, our teachers, and the entire ecosystem on how to use the HomeBuddy app effectively. As we speak, this week we've done some trainings for teachers. Next week also some training is planned. And that'll slowly we'll begin to see more and more information flowing on both at My Day at EuroKids as well as on Class Memories. Nobody has reverted to my inquiry yet. I've applied for 2 different branches. So can you just please put in your mobile number and your name into the Q&A box, and I'll make sure that someone gets in touch with you immediately.
So there's another question: when a child starts a writing practice, because usual school children start writing practice from KG. So, ma'am, writing should not be the main focus, because the children first learn to listen, then speak, then read, and then write. Forcing the child to write when his hands, his pincer grip, his finer motor skills are not developed is not right. So please don't get carried away when schools say that we'll make your child write. Do something which is right for your child. You know, there is stages of development that we focus on. The children start writing at the end. So, you know, first is the listening, speaking, reading, and then writing. So please wait for your child to reach that milestone. There's another question is my child is 18 months now, so I'm deciding to send to playgroup from June. It will be good if you can give us a life for playgroup, as he's very naughty. So ma'am, you could go to the center. Children are supposed to be naughty at that age group. You can go to the center, attend the open house along with your child. Let him also enjoy the session. And yes, putting him into a playgroup is very, very important, because his energies would be channelized in the right manner. So, you know, when the children's energies are not channelized, they remove it in the wrong direction. So yes, please put him in a playgroup at the earliest.
And even if your child is naughty, hyperactive, it doesn't matter, because our teachers are trained on how to, you know, settle the child down, calm him down, and make him enjoy, right? And like Dr. Anita said, children at this age are expected to be full of energy and running around the whole day. We love children who are full of energy, and our teachers are more than adequately trained to handle these kind of children. I am from other city, Telangana, moved to Pune. So is the teaching done in English or Marathi/Hindi?
So the teaching is definitely done in English.
Okay. Yeah. So, Saudhamini Sri Shastri, my daughter is 2 years, 4 months now. Should I join her for playgroup or nursery?
So, ma'am, you should take the integrated nursery program. So, currently join her in the in Jan session for the integrated nursery. So, by the time she's in April or June, she would be eligible for nursery. And meanwhile, her settling period for playgroup would happen in the integrated program for 3 months.
Okay. Do all centers have this 15-month program? Kailash Pandey is asking. The answer is yes. Integrated program is being offered across all our centers. Rakhila P is saying, do all EuroKids centers have this shift basis class? We have just started rolling out multiple shifts, the 2 morning shifts across all our centers. If it is already not being offered, it will be offered by the time the new academic year starts. Interesting question from Sims Saloni. I have a big doubt in the curriculum that you are offering. Your curriculum lacks in terms of academics. The transition from UKG to class first is difficult to cope up.
Ma'am, what I would say is, if you're focusing only on the writing skills, you would say that other schools make them write, because we focus a lot on the holistic development. Now, I believe that if the children, the foundation is ready, the children are able to read, the children are able to understand, comprehend, communicate, converse, think, that is more important. So my focus is on skill development than only writing. Why we do not focus on writing at the very, very young age is because scientifically, if you see, children's pincer grip develops only when the child is 4 years old. When the child is 0 to 4 years old, they are struggling. So if you see, a child will not be able to hold a chalk. So if we give them ball crayon to color when they are in the play group. The idea of giving the ball crayon is to develop their grip. Now, if the grip is developed, only then they will hold a pencil. So forcing the child to write at a very, very young age will make the child hate writing because they are not ready. They've not achieved the milestone of writing. Apart from that, if you see, our EuroKids children really stand out when it is communication, when it's conversation, when it's knowledge, because we are not focusing on rote learning. We are making them find out the answers for themselves. So they are applying the knowledge learned. So I would say, I would beg to differ there, and I say children really are very class apart in terms of their knowledge application. Yes, we do not focus on writing because it's not age appropriate for them.
Okay. Ravi Kumar is asking, does union government's new education policy got any effect on your curriculum? Ravi, good question. We are already fully compliant with the NEP. In fact, much before the NEP came out in 2020, we've been following all the practices which have been, quoted in the NEP for many, many years before the NEP also came out. So our not only will our curriculum be fully compliant with NEP, it will also be a bit ahead of what the NEP asks us to do. Ramchandra is asking, playgroup admission last date. Ramchandra, there is no last date for playgroup admission because, that's the entry grade to preschools, and your child could turn 1.8 years or 2 years anytime during the course of this year. So you can put your child into playgroup in April. You can put your child into playgroup right now, or you can put your child into playgroup 6 months from now. We take children into playgroup and nursery throughout the year. Even in Euro Junior and Euro Senior, we have throughout the year, because our teachers are trained on how to bring children together and make sure that they are all at the same level of learning. Yeah. Pushpendra Kumar, my child is planning to go for admission 23-24 nursery. If I send immediately, I need to pay some extra fees. Pushpendra, yes. If you take the integrated program, we give you a few books for the 3 months, and you will have to pay a small fees for the 3 months that the child goes to school, preschool in this academic year. But the majority of the fees will be for the next academic year. Anurag Maurya is asking, how do you make sure it is being used and regularly updated by the center? Anurag, if you're referring to HomeBuddy, we are currently undergoing multiple rounds of training with all our preschool centers, training them on how to use HomeBuddy, training them on how to put up class memories, training them on how to use My Day at EuroKids, and all the features of the app, so that the parents get a lot of information and they also have a great experience as far as the overall EuroKids experience is concerned. Praveen Salvadia says, you are right as far as photo clicks inside classroom, but missing videos, how kids are learning. Sure, Praveen, I think if you can just speak to your center and say, it's good that you're putting up photo clicks about what is happening inside the classroom. Can we also see some videos? I'm sure they'll share videos with you as well. Sahana Hiremat is asking, if a child joins in second term, will the fees for a complete academic year will be collected? No, Sahana. If your child joins in the second term, you will pay the annual fees and you will pay the term fees and the tuition fees only for the second term. Can you discuss about off-site experience like field trips?
So we have one field trip every month, depending on the theme that is going on. For that, we would ask the parent to give an consent that you are okay with taking the child outside, and the field trip would depend on the theme that is going on, so the children can experience what is happening inside the class, what they're learning about, to real time.
There are quite a few questions that I see about fees. Fees, the best way to figure out the fees is please approach your nearest EuroKids and inquire with them directly, and they will share the fee structure with you. Samrat Patnaik is asking whether Saturday is a holiday or not. So I think he's asking, does EuroKids operate 6 days a week or is it 5 days a week?
So we operate 5 days a week. Saturday is generally, the schools are open for parents to visit, communicate with the school, but children don't have classes. Currently, we are offering a lot of open houses so that the parent can go to the school along with the child to experience a day at EuroKids.
Okay, lots of questions about some parents joined late, may or may not have seen the entire presentation. I'm told by my marketing team that the entire recording of this webinar will be available on the EuroKids YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and type in EuroKids and go to the EuroKids channel, there you will see a lot of videos, and a recording of this will also be available over there. Interesting question from Sukumar Ghosh. My child is almost 3 years old, but doesn't speak much words, and clearly she's taking her own time. Can she be admitted to the school? My worry is that if she'd be able to express herself, or the teacher would understand her. Can you please talk on this a little?
So we have seen a lot of delay in speech. I would say this is thanks to the pandemic, because the children have been indoor and have very few people to communicate. But I would say don't worry, this is a small phase. Children will learn to speak very fast. Once you admit your child to school, the child will start listening to the teacher, start listening to a lot of peers, and interacting with peers. So we have a session on peer interaction. So the first, development phase to speaking is listening. So the minute the child listens a lot, he will start speaking. And children are very expressive. If they cannot express themselves through, a conversation or through talking, they will express through body language. So please don't panic. You must admit your child in school, because that's a place where the child will interact with adults, peers, and learn faster than being alone at home.
Okay. Thena is asking, I could not see any info on fee structures in the website. It will be good if you could share that. We cannot share fee structure for specific centers because we have more than 1,200 EuroKids preschools across the country. And depending on the city and the location, the fee varies from center to center. The best thing to do would be to get in touch with the center, and they will be able to share the fee structure with you. Though, if I want to explain the fee structure typically consists of a registration fees. And when you pay the registration fees, you get the welcome kit, the happiness kit, and you also get access to the Home Buddy app. And then you have the annual fee, the term fee, and the tuition fees, right? So that's the broad structure. You can go and check with your nearest center on how this is specifically being followed. Yeah. My Rushikesh is asking, my child has not joined the playgroup or nursery, but we had directly put him in junior KG, but now he's facing issues while writing and reading numbers, alphabets, etc. So could you please let me know how EuroKids can help him? He's now 4.5 years of age. So which program we can enroll him in, and when will the admission begin?
So the program that he would be in is junior KG, but you could do an integrated program right now for him, so that he can do nursery 3 months, a little bit of preparation for school, settling, all that will happen from Jan to April. And then, if depending on the city you are, in April or June, he goes to junior KG. He will have a little issues with writing because he's not done activities which our PG nursery do, like sorting, clay, crumpling paper. We do a lot of activities with them which helps them develop their pencil grip. So I would suggest is one, enroll him in an integrated program ASAP. Second, let him do a lot of small activities at home, like sorting, cutting, clay, kneading a dough. So that will help him develop the muscles which will help them to write.
There is a question from Jinita Jain, saying that she has 2 centers in the vicinity of her residence, and there is a fee structure difference between these 2 centers. Sometimes fee structures differ, Jinita, because of the rental difference between 2 different locations. That could be one of the reasons. But do share your details with us, and we will look into why there is such a difference in fees between 2 centers. Vani Praveen asking, what is the qualification of the teachers?
So we expect all our teachers to be ECCA, that is Early Childhood Education Trained, or the Nursery Teachers Training Program done. Apart from that, we also have a lot of trainings that we do in-house along with the coordinators, so that the teachers know what exactly is the curriculum about, how to handle children, how to do the classroom management. So teachers are definitely early childhood education trained.
Okay, then we have a question about, do you follow any practices or methodology for right brain education? This is Monica.
So we have a lot of activities which focus on brain development. So when I say we are working on the cognitive domain, we have a lot of activities that focus on brain development. We focus on the right and the left brain development. We focus on multiple intelligence, which focuses on a lot of different domains of development. So yes, we do focus on that. We have a lot of activities that have been designed to focus on that.
Okay. Muthukumar Kanagaraj is asking how capable the child would be when she appears for an entrance exam for a mainstream school for class 1.
So we do have, when they do a interview or they do a writing test, our children do pass on to it. We do have them speak in complete sentences and they write complete sentences. So they will be very well trained. They will, in fact, in one of the interviews, I have a parent telling me that he was asking questions back to the interviewer, which that interviewer was totally impressed with. So since the confidence level and the self-esteem is so high with our children, they are very comfortable in talking to adults and discussing situations with them. So yes, your child will be very well trained to attend the interviews.
Okay. Then a few questions around, do you provide food to playgroup kids? If yes, how many times? Our centers don't provide food to the playgroup kids. We want the parents to send food. We do, however, our teachers are trained on encouraging children to develop independent eating habits. But we do not, as a program, provide food as part of the playgroup program. Okay. There's some questions about school bus facilities in EuroKids. Now, this is on a center-to-center basis, so please reach out to your nearest center and you'll be able to figure out whether transportation is available or not. Another question from Sims Saloni. I don't think that the teachers are proficient in English, as you people are not paying more than 10K to teachers. How can you expect them to be proficient in English with such low salary? So Sims, I don't know which specific center that you're referring to. We do extensive training with our teachers. We have spread out across the country an academic team consisting of almost 30 academic managers. And they are doing training for our teachers on the Eunoia curriculum, on soft skills, on English, on diction, and on many areas throughout the year, right? What does happen at times is that, some teachers might suddenly resign and go away, and the replacement teachers who come in may not yet be fully up to the mark. So during the transition period, you might get this kind of a feeling that the teachers are not proficient. But we do work very closely with all the centers to make sure that our teachers are fully trained and are capable of delivering the curriculum at a very high quality. More questions on transportation services. If so, is it mandatory to avail it? Piyush, I don't think transportation is mandatory. It is for your convenience. If you want to use the transportation, you can use it. If you don't want to use the transportation and want to drop your child to the preschool on your own, please feel free to do so. Rakshit Nagarle says, I just put my kid in play school in EuroKids and she will start classes from Monday. Should I avail integrated program? Is there a difference in fees and would that make a difference? If you just put your child into play school in EuroKids, most probably you would have put them into the integrated program. Do check with your local preschool and with the local EuroKids and they will clarify on the integrated program. Sogra Fatima, my son could not speak. Can we admit him? He is 18 months.
Yes, please admit him. I just spoke about peers helping them to talk. We also spoke about listening being the major factor while developing communication skills. So please enroll your child. He will start learn. You will see the difference in 2 months' time.
I agree. You know, the best way to get children to start speaking is to put them with peers. They will look at the peers, they will learn from the peers. And we have heard and seen many stories of children beginning to speak after they've started attending preschool. Shweta asks, is there any activity for kids during summer holidays?
So we do offer a summer club. So you'll have to check with your center. We have a 3-week summer club that we offer to the children.
Bithi said, you have more questions on food for playgroup kids. We don't. As a policy and a practice, we don't provide food. We want the parents to send the food because it's very difficult to cater to such young children and give everyone exactly what they want or what they like, right? As a mom and a dad, you know exactly what your child likes. So it's better if you send food to the school and hopefully your child will be happy to eat the food sent from home. This right brain education question has already been answered. Inali Shukla, even I have filled the inquiry form, haven't received any communication back yet. My WhatsApp number is so-and-so, Ahmedabad, Gurukul branch. So Pinali, I am taking a note of your details. We'll make sure that someone gets in touch with you as early as possible. Yeah. More questions on transportation. We've answered that already. Sims Saloni, more questions on teaching is done in Hindi. Child suffers a lot. So Sims, can you please let me know which specific center you're talking about so that we can look into it and sort out the issue? Otherwise, it's very difficult to answer the question. We do have in the Q&A also a lot of parents writing in and said, my child has already been to EuroKids and I've had an excellent experience. So maybe yours, whatever experience you've had is a very localized problem, which we are happy to sort out. Ishwarya is asking, Anita, will the child be able to write when they enter the primary school when compared to other children?
Yes, they would, because children pick up writing very fast. So once their pincer grip is developed, they will pick up very fast. So they do not need more and more practice, which they would require when they are 4-year-old. So when you know the child is in the nursery, a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, they take longer to write. They require more practice. But if the child is 5 and 6, when their pincer grip is ready, they write faster and they learn faster.
Okay, interesting question. Can you please elaborate on the phonics curriculum? Will you start with lowercase or uppercase? Do you teach phonological awareness?
So what we do is we first begin with sounding out of the letters. So we do not have the concept of teaching the lowercase and the uppercase separately. We teach them as together. We display both uppercase and lowercase together. But while we are writing, we write the uppercase first because it is much easier for them to write. Phonic is giving the sounds for each letter. The minute they have the sound, they can break the word, they can blend, they can segment, and therefore reading becomes much faster. You will find all these sound videos uploaded on the app. So for your reference, you can go through them.
I think we've answered quite a few questions. Sachin Gaikwad says, we speak in Marathi and Hindi at home. Then how my son will learn English? He's 3.5 years old. You want to answer that, Anita?
So the children learn and have the capability of learning 6 languages at that age group. So, you will notice that the child knows which language to talk to whom. So with a parent, he will specifically talk that language. With a maid, he will talk another language. So they have the capability of learning a lot of languages. Probably since you are using too much of Hindi and Marathi at home, he has learned to communicate in that language with you at home, but in school he must be following. So please check that with the teacher, and you all also start using multiple languages with him. He will start replying in multiple languages.
Okay, so Sri Harsha is asking, do all branches have a monthly review or so with the top management along with parents, so that everything you and us parents are expecting will be reviewed? So Sri Harsha, we don't review a center every month with the parents. We do, however, are constantly listening to feedback from parents. We do PTMs, parent-teacher meetings, every 2 months. We keep track of all the development milestones of the child pretty much on a day-to-day basis. We also do visits from the head office to each center through our business managers as well as our academic managers. We keep a very tight track of how the academic execution is happening inside our preschools to ensure that quality of academic outcomes is maintained at a very high level. So we do review them very frequently, but not top management along with parents, but we have a full team across the country which is involved in making sure that all our centers operate at high standards. Satish Kuchnur is asking, do any student is promoted or depromoted to next class according to his skill development noticed by his teachers?
We would not say any child is depromoted because we promote all the children. Yes, we keep a lot of close observation on what the child is good at, what he is weak at, and we give a lot of one-to-one attention for the skills that he is weak at so that he can develop and focus on that. Each child displays and learns at his own pace. So there is no right time or age to learn a thing. This is very developmentally appropriate. So we give the child enough time to learn, and we also ask parents for help in case if the child needs some extra help at home. So depromotion doesn't happen.
Kailash Pandey, what is the actual strength of a class playgroup and the number of teachers per class?
So 1:10, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, 1 teacher is to 10 children. And if we have 20 children in the classroom, if the classroom size is big, we have 2 teachers and 1 helper in the classroom.
Can we see how are kids during the class with pre-appointment basis or via CCTV? So you can't you can't walk into a school and want to go and see how your child is doing inside the classroom, because that disrupts the entire class, right? However, if you want to watch the CCTV to see how your child is performing inside the class, you can for sure seek an appointment with the center head, go and see the CCTV, right? Is there any channel available to raise query to EuroKids management team regarding center? Yes, you can go to www.eurokidsindia.com, and there you will have a contact us portion of the website. So please contact us via that. One of my friends is out of Pune. Can he book seat online for his daughter to go in nursery? Yes, he can. This year we are not doing online classes because we would love to see all our children come to physical preschool. But if you mean online booking of admissions, then you can just reach out to the center where you want to take the admission, speak to them on the phone, and they can send you an admission form online, and you can fill it up online, you can make the payments online, and you can complete the admissions online as well. We've already discussed the phonics curriculum piece. I am from Delhi and I have submitted the form, but still there is no revert and response from your side. Please share your mobile numbers. I'll make sure that someone gets in touch with you immediately. There's some corporate company discount. We do corporate discounts, but for that you will have to check with your HR department. Please check with your HR department on whether there is any tie-up with EuroKids. Age-related questions. Kailash Pandey, if our child is not capable of self-feeding, is there any provision to feed the child? Yes, our teachers will take care of the child. Smita Chawla is saying, what age will you start phonics?
So it starts right from the nursery. PG is just identification of the letters. We do not focus in sounding the letters because children at that age are not ready for phonics. From nursery, we start sounding the letters.
Okay, Vani Praveen says, I have visited EuroKids for inquiry purpose. I felt very happy by seeing the environment and the way teachers interacted with my son. I'm happy to join my child to EuroKids. Thank you. Thank you, Vani, for that feedback. How do you manage potty and toilet of baby? Again, our teachers and our didis are trained to handle children because we know that not all children will be yet potty trained and fully dependent on themselves. So we will take care of that inside the school. I'm noting down Chavi's mobile number. We will have someone get in touch with you. Any other questions, Anita, you think that we can answer? Mostly, I think we've covered everything, right?
Yeah, we've covered everything.
Shadan Butul says, my child is 5+, but still he's having difficulty in writing. So what should I do for him?
Ma'am, do a lot of activities like tearing paper, sorting small objects, crumpling paper, kneading the Play-Doh. All these things will help the child to develop pincer grip. Once the pincer grip is developed, writing will come very smoothly and automatic.
Thena is asking, according to recent education policy, the criteria for standard 1 is completion of 6 years based on 31st March. How the gap can be managed for a May-born child?
I don't think so. It's 31st March because each state is coming up with their own NEP guidelines and policy. Most probably it would happen as 1st June onwards. So let's wait for the proper guidelines to come in because right now we just have frameworks coming in. We don't have the exact thing. And this would be applicable from 2025. So we still have 2 years before it really gets implemented in all the states.
Pinali Shukla says, since HomeBuddy app not available outside India, will there be any WhatsApp communication for the parents outside India? I am from UK and my son is with his grandparents in Ahmedabad. So Pinali, what you should do is that why don't you download the HomeBuddy app on your parents' phone in Ahmedabad, and then they will start getting all the notifications and all the updates on what your child is going through in the preschool. Yeah, that probably is the fastest solution for your child. Okay, I think we've tried and answered close to 143 questions from the participants today. Pretty much most of the questions have been answered. We will be doing this kind of a webinar every Saturday. So if your questions are still not answered or if you missed out on answering your questions, please feel free to get in touch with your nearest EuroKids. All our EuroKids preschools are open right now. You can go across, meet with the counselors, meet with the center heads, ask them any questions you have around the academics, the physical programs that we offer, about age group, about state-related, guidelines, anything to do with any aspect of the preschooling. Please feel free to walk across to your nearest preschool, EuroKids preschool, and visit. Like I mentioned earlier, the fastest way to get someone to get in touch with you is to please go to www.eurokidsindia.com and put in an inquiry. Some of you have said your inquiries have not been responded to. I've noted the names and the mobile numbers of the people. I will share it with my team, and someone will for sure get in touch with you immediately. Yeah. Thank you so much, parents, for attending this webinar. It was really interactive. We got lots and lots of questions, and it was fun answering all the questions and seeing the seriousness with which parents are taking the preschool education. Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you soon.